Hello, good evening and welcome, and thanks ever so much for joining me tonight on what is going to be a one-off special. Well, actually, it's not going to be a one-off special. It's part one of my windmill diorama, and what I'm hoping to do, I'm hoping to build a diorama around my windmill, which was a museum exhibit. And then I want to display it at various shows around the country when shows are back open again. So it's going to be a long project, really, because I've got other projects on the go. But what I want is like ideas on what I can do, and I want to show you ideas of what I'm going to do. So, but as always, tonight I'm not alone, thank goodness, and I've got some guests. And them guests are going to be one or two of them. We're going to be showing you a few things as well, so we'll try and keep the interest busy tonight for everybody if we can. So first one then of my guests is Max Mods.
So good evening everybody, thanks for having me on, Dave. Yeah, I'm looking forward to tonight and the reveals that you like to do.
Yeah, thank you very much for coming along. And then we've got Geordie Dave.
Yeah, thanks for having us on, Dave. Yeah, I'm looking forward to tonight to see what you're going to do. I think it's going to be very interesting.
Well, we're gonna try. We're gonna try and do a bit of something different, I think, to Route Masters and Spitfires and what have you. So yeah, hopefully it'll be interesting. And then last but not least, we've got Dano Builds.
I think what having is yeah, should be an interesting show tonight. Like you say, something a bit different.
Yeah, a bit different for us all to look at and all to see and what have you. So there we are. What I was going to say was, would it be all right if you read the comments, Mark? Would that be okay?
I can, but I can't highlight them. So
okay.
First of all, we've got Dave himself saying hello, friends.
Hello, friends.
Next we have Fleetwood J. I thought I was tuning in, for an episode of Camberwick Green Windy Miller. LOL. Hiya all. Hope everyone is okay. I'm looking forward to seeing updates on this.
Hi, Fleetwood J.
And then we've got Yorkshire Crafter. Hello, everyone.
Hello, Julie.
Hello, Julie.
And then we've got Dano Builds. Hello, everyone.
Hello, Dano. I think he's down this way somewhere. There you are.
We've got P40F20. Hi all, what has Mr. Say in store for us today? Stay tuned in and see.
Hello, P40F20. Yes, stay tuned in. Yeah,
and
they might be. Go on.
Yeah, we've got Christine say hello everyone. Hope you're all keeping well.
Hello, darling.
Hey, Christine.
We've got hi from Andrew Jones.
Hi, Andrew.
We've got Paul Wright. Hello, guys.
Oops, come on, highlight. Hello, Paul.
And then we've got David Bassett. Good evening, Windy Miller, Dave Say and friends, Mark's Mods, Geordie Dave and Dano Built. How are you, David?
Hello, David. Yeah, it's quite a mouthful when we're all on together, isn't it? So,
yeah.
Oh, I'll let that comment go away. Oh, that's better. So the comments got stuck. So yeah, I'm using the free StreamYard tonight, and yeah, I'm trying to build a little bit more content to my channel if I can, and let's hope you find it interesting anyway. So let's have a bit of a recap. I found a windmill in 1/24th scale on an auction site. It was an museum exhibit, and it had been broken, and so I got it rather cheaply. I put in a small bid, and I was very surprised that I actually won it. And this big box arrived, and then in this big box was a big plastic covered box, a perspex box, and in this perspex box was this windmill. Anyway, I think I've shown it on another stream before, but I'll show it tonight as well, and then we can have a good look at it. I haven't had much chance to do much to it because well, there's been Christmas in the way and decorating, and we've not been very well, and season of things that have been going wrong with us, really. But having said that, I've been catching up on other builds as well. So what I'm wanting to do is I'm wanting to make a series, and this is part one. You'll notice in the intro it says part one, and in this series, hopefully it'll make me work on this windmill a little bit better, so I can then produce something in a few months' time, perhaps. Something that will look a lot better than what it is at the moment, and hopefully we can get it turning as well, so with an electric motor. Speaking of electric motors, I've got a thank you to say to Mark, because he sent me this lovely little electric motor, and he sent me it to try, and some of you might recognize that. It's the small electric motor off the Hachette Spitfire. So I'm going to try that on the windmill when I get a battery box. So thank you for that, Mark. I really appreciate that.
Okay.
And then I had another present sent because I put some bits in my wish list for diorama purposes. And the other present I got sent was this. It's some lichen, which is it's like synthetic grass and bushes and trees in a plastic bag. And these were sent to me by Chris Davis Weld. So thank you ever so much, Chris Davis Weld. Very, very much appreciated. And I'm pretty sure that I'll be able to make some bushes and trees on my diorama with that, all being well. And you'll see what they'll come in for a bit later on. So that's a couple of items that have been sent, and they're going to go towards the windmill diorama. So another thing I want you guys to think about out there in internet land, and you guys here, is I want a name for this windmill. And so I want to be able to say this is part 6 of whatever windmill, and then I can actually name it as an exhibit. So if you wouldn't mind thinking about a name for my windmill, and there's no prizes involved, just for fun and just for something to think about. So there we go. Right. I don't think there's any more chat coming yet, have they? No, I don't think so.
So yeah, no other chat.
No more chat. No, it's slow on this free one, so I'm having to look on YouTube. Right. Also tonight we've got connected with us. We've got it's Crafts and Friends Facebook group, and we've got the Hobby Show Facebook group, I think, connected to us tonight. So welcome if you're the first one along to see my bits and pieces. Hope you enjoyed the night. Right. Let's have a look at this windmill. So if I change my camera, oh, blimey, camera. Come on. There we go. Come on. There we are. Right, and I'll go solo. There we are. Right. So this windmill, this is a diagram that came with this windmill. And I'm sorry if the light's a bit off. Let's put some more light on. Tell me if it's too white balance, and I'll turn that off. So this windmill is known as a tower windmill, and it has a fantail on the back, and your main sails run along there. And then you've got your brake wheel, which goes through the centre, and the wind shaft. The cap that goes over the top of it, it has a sack hoist with inside, a grain bin, and then it has a governor inside, and it has the grindstones, and there's the sack lift. You can see the sacks at the bottom there, and a flour bins at the bottom. This is almost typical of any windmill used for grinding corn into flour, and it was built around 1840, and 1840 to 1860. So it's not that old, really, what it represents. There is far older windmills around, but this is roughly how it would work. The sacks of grain would be hoisted up through the floor, through the 3 floors, and it would go into the grain bin there. The miller would tip it into the grain bin, and it would come down through a chute which is regulated, and the chute then would go into the grindstone centres, and into the grindstone it would be ground in the grindstone, and they would come out of a further chute as flour into the flour bin below. So you can imagine how dusty and mucky that place would be on when it was working hard, with the dry grain and the flour and everything else. It would have been quite a noisy place to be in, because obviously the wooden gears and everything, and shafts turning everywhere, and you'd really have to have your wits about you when you was working in a corn mill or a windmill of any sort, or even a water mill. You'd really have to have your wits about you as being a miller. So that's the plan. That's the overall plan of this windmill. And now I'll show you the real thing. So this is the real windmill that I got as a model, and I put it on the Lazy Susan tonight. Actually, it's just the small Lazy Susan that was given to me by Werner Verwijn. So thank you ever so much for that, Werner. So this is pretty much how you saw it before. I have straightened the sails out a little bit. There's still a few odd bits of wood to glue back on, but I've done a lot of straightening out on there. And then what I found out is that the main cog around here, around the top, was broken, and there's a small piece out there and a small piece out there. I am able to fill that little bit, but I've glued that cog back in, and so I was hoping that it would actually turn properly now, like that going around. So I'm turning the mill, and you can see that the head is staying still, and the fan tail is going around. So basically what would happen is that the fan tail would be put into gear, and it would spin the top of the windmill into the direction of the wind, so catching most of the wind with the sails. And then you would be able to adjust that pretty much as you would be able to adjust the sails on a ship into the wind to catch the rest of the wind to actually turn the windmill. So it does turn. I got it to turn eventually, and what's happening is that some of the cogs are not engaging properly, and that's because some of the cogs are wooden. Well, they're all wooden, and I do believe that there's that top shield that needs moving around, and it wants greasing as well. So before I start putting a motor on it or anything like that, I'm going to actually take all this top bit apart, because when it arrived broken, the end bearing cap in there, which you can't see at the moment, the end bearing cap had come loose, and the front bearing cap had come loose. So that makes all that drive wheel very unstable. So I want to stabilize all that up and re-glue it and repin it back in, and then I'm going to think about the motor, putting a motor inside. As you can see, it was a museum exhibit, and therefore when it was a museum exhibit, it was made so that all this was cut out so you could actually see what was happening inside the mill. And if you can see this okay, hopefully you can, you've got your top floor there, and you've got your sack hoist. There's your sacks of grain, and they would come up through the floor there, and then there, and into these grain bins at the top. And in this windmill, there's 2 grain bins, because there's 2 lots of grinding wheels, and then there's 2 lots of flour bins underneath as well. So this one, at this side, the grinding wheel at this side, is being left open for display purposes. And I don't think you can actually see in there, but they've actually ribbed the grindstone itself. because on the grindstone it would be ribbed all the way around the grindstone in between, and it would be ribbed like that so that it would physically grind the corn and not wear the stone away too easily. So it would be regulated by a governor, which is in there as well. I'm not sure if you can see that. That could be a bit far away from the camera. Very difficult to see, actually. So there's a governor in there that spins round, and basically what the governor does is spin round, and if it's going too fast, it'll literally put the brakes on by the spinning of them governor balls. They'll come out and they'll manage to put the brakes on a little bit on that shaft there, and it'll slow it down to a regulated speed. And then probably what would happen then is that the miller would alter the sails, the flaps on the sails, to a little bit more open or a little bit more closed, depending on the wind speed and depending on the speed that the center shaft is spinning for the grindstones. So yeah, that's how it would work. The grain would come down the chute into the grindstones, and then it would be ground, and then it would go down that chute and into the flour boxes below, and then of course it would be bagged up and sent away to the to be made into bread and such like. Yeah, so that's roughly how a windmill would work. I think I'm going to keep this open like this, and I'm going to rewash these floors because they're nicely wooden floors, and I think they'll come up nice with a nice wash. And when the sails actually turn, the center shaft actually turns as well. I'm not sure if you can see the center shaft turning, but yeah, the center shaft actually turns in there as well. So I think I'm going to keep that movement if I can, and then just keep the head of the windmill, the cap, in one position. Now then, we come to the diorama part. It's on a baseboard, and let me just take this cap off a moment, and I'll show you inside here in the details of this windmill if I can. It's a bit difficult, but we'll have a go. So hopefully you can see this, guys. So this is a broken center bit that was broken. I have the little piece to glue back on there, and this is the wheel that goes onto the fantail wheel that turns the cap of the windmill, and then this is the main gear wheel, the main drive wheel, and as you can see, it's actually a wooden cog. So yeah, pretty much original, like the real thing is really. So yeah, I have that bearing to do which goes there, and that bearing to do there, and then I'm going to have to try and either put the motor on this shaft here or the motor on the shaft below. I'm not sure which yet, but I'll have to do some head scratching and see if I can find out which is going to be the best way to do that. And then I've got one or two of these sails to glue back in, and then it can be repainted, can the cap. And that's why I needed the white paint for all them months ago. So I've done a little bit of progress, not a lot. And then the diorama itself, the windmill itself, it sits on a board, and this board is what it's about 2.5 feet by 2 feet in diameter, and it's got a painted surface. I think you can see the painted surface, and it's like rough, it's like sand that's been dropped on it, and it's not a very good diorama. So I want to make it an even better diorama, and I want to make it a better diorama with your help. So I've already got a bit of lighting to make some bushes with in some places, and I'm going to need some colours, and I'm going to need a shed. Yeah, that's right, a shed. So, and what I thought was, I'm going to put a shed in this corner here, and I want it to be an old broken down shed, and perhaps a tree fallen over it as well or something, and all broken bits of wood and what have you, as though it's a derelict little shed, as though it's a little grain store or something at this corner. And then what else I thought was a few trees, a few bushes perhaps around the bottom, and then this corner here you can see there's like a roadway here. It's painted on a roadway. I was going to put a vehicle. Now the vehicle I was thinking of would be I don't know, something like a van, and then perhaps have a set of ladders going up and somebody working on the brickwork or something, and you know, somebody sat having a cup of tea, and all tools in the van and all that sort of thing. I think that would work pretty well, and then perhaps another bush or something in this corner. So keep that roadway, do away with this roadway, and just have a small path from the door, and keep this roadway, park a van or something on here, a builder's van or something, and then bushes in this corner. Make this into just a simple path, and then make that corner into a dilapidated shed and some bushes. And what do you think? What do you think of that idea? Huh?
Are you going to have there's like a mud roadway, or are you going to over there?
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking, well, if I placed this windmill in about 1978, 79, 80, something like that, where it's been restored, I could then tell the story that the guys in the van have come along and they're helping to restore this windmill back to its former glory. And if we had this shed at this corner and it's all falling down, we could say, well, that's what they've done to the windmill, but they've got to start on the shed next. And then we'll have a few overgrown bushes. We'll have I don't know, maybe a brick roadway or something down there, do you think? Do you think that would be do you think that would be in keeping, a briquette roadway or something? And then do away with the other roadway on the front there, and then just have a path. You see, it would have had a door here at the back, but if we just have a path leading from the front door there, and so yeah, that's the idea. And I'll say I was going to leave all that back open so you could actually see in the windmill, and then this could be a diorama by itself. Also, with the motor in, I was also thinking about putting some lighting in as well. So we've got a window here, and we've got a window this side, and then I could probably put a window down in the bottom deck, the middle deck, and the top deck, a light coming down, perhaps like an old electric lamp coming down. So that's another idea as well. I could put lights in it, and then we could have the blades turning, the sails turning, and then lights on inside, and then some guys out here in a van.
Thinking of the road, it's something like an old farm track.
Yeah, something like an old farm track, bits of bricks or something or whatever. Yeah, yeah. I'd have to think about that. So yeah, so there we go. That's this windmill, and if I just put the head back on it, the top back on it, temporarily, if it will sit back there. Yeah, I'm rather looking forward to getting it looking something like. I think this base really lets it down, because it doesn't look anything like it should do. You know, it's not lifelike or anything. And I'm perhaps thinking about the black on here as well, when this is actually supposed to be brickwork and it's all silky smooth. So I think if I roughed it up a bit and then got some brickwork template or something and lightly, I don't know, brushed it on or something, I don't know, just to make that look like brickwork rather than just plain black. So you could just pick out the bricks now and again. So yeah, I was thinking of that too. But so yeah, there's quite a few ideas going round, and you know, I'd like to get a little bit done and then show you an update at a later date. Whoops.
Maybe, Dave, instead of a vehicle, you could have a horse-drawn cart coming to collect the flour.
Well, I did think about that, and I thought, well, a lot of people don't remember windmills in use, but a lot of people can relate to a windmill being restored, especially in this day and age. So, it's at this point that I'm going to do a live unboxing. I bought something that's going to be used on this diorama, and I thought, well, what vehicle could I use? I don't know. If it was based in the 1979 area or something like that, what vehicle was the most popular vehicle to be out on the road? And I thought, yeah, one of my internet friends actually hit the nail on the head, and that's Steve Owen. And once I saw what he got, I thought, yeah, that's the ideal vehicle for a 1979-80 diorama of a windmill restorer's van. And no idea. Let's hope this is what I think it is. Yeah, it is. We actually had a discussion off stream, guys, about what was in this box, and we was dreading it. So yeah, I bought one of these Ford Transit 1/24 scale van by Itarelli, and so it's a plastic model of a Ford Transit van Mark II. So round about that era, 79, 80 or something like that. It's 1/24 scale, which is the same scale as the Windmill, and I know that there is now. Dave Welsh got one of these, made one up, and he made an absolute fabulous diorama with it. He rusted it and dinted it and what have you, and painted it and put tools in it and ladder racks and things like that. And I want to do exactly the same as that and have this as a windmill restorer's van on this diorama, and I think it'll look lovely. So, do you want me to open the box so we can have a look at the contents? Let's go for it, shall we? Let's see if I can get into it, that is.
Do you want me to catch up on chat, Dave, while you're getting into it?
Yeah, you can do if you can.
Yeah. So P40F20 suggests Dave's millinery. Paul Wright says my grandson Cameron said hi too.
Hi.
Hi, Cameron.
Hi, Cameron.
And then Paul Wright says Cameron said, "Do the chat, do the chat." He loves hearing his name on YouTube. LOL. David Bassett says graded grains make finer bread.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Penny's Pit Stop says Dave Say lived in a windmill in an old Amsterdam. A windmill with Dave Say in, and he wasn't grousing. He sang every morning, "How lucky I am living in a windmill in old Amsterdam." And then Christine says, hello, Cameron. I'm sure Dave would be happy to say hello if you wait for a few minutes. Oh, God, I'm too far. And then, oh, gosh, where? Yeah. David Bassett says, I saw Dave say, "Where there on the stair, right there on the stair. Oh, yeah. A Yorkshire man with clogs on, go clippity, clippity, clop on the stair." Oh, and then Penny's Pit Stop says, Dave, look for a channel called Luke's Apps or Affordable Paint Service. His older videos dealt with how to make things cheaper than buying this. Includes grass, mud, trees, etc., etc.
Oh, thank you very much for that, Penny. And
then Penny says, do you think you could use lolly sticks as planks and hand build a shed and then break it?
Yeah, that's a good idea too. Yeah.
And then Paul Wright says, a Morris Minor van.
Well, I did think about that, but I couldn't find one in 1/24 scale.
Right. And then Penny says, somewhere I have dry and wet mud. I could send them to you to play and see what you can do.
Oh, lovely.
And then Penny says, it's often said that you can make the best model in the world, but if the base is naff, it won't look good.
That's absolutely true. Yeah, that's
And
absolutely
then
true.
Penny's Pit sort of says, horses are, yes, beep to paint much harder than you think.
Yeah.
And then Penny Pit's, it's a bus.
It's a bus, no.
And then she says, a route master, question
No.
mark.
No.
P40F20 says, perhaps a broken farm cart surrounded by weeds and bushes placed next to the broken shed.
That's an excellent idea, David. Yeah. Sorry, P40F20. Yeah, that's excellent.
And then Penny says, has anyone seen Sid? Reference to the markings on the van.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
And then Fleetwood J says, you need a feed. Oh,
Fred Dibner.
Dibner going up.
Fred Dibner.
Going up a ladder. David Bassett says MK2 Ford Transit, real ones were made at Langley near Slough back then.
Yeah.
And then Penny says, Dave, you have to sing my lyrics.
I don't think I can.
Penny Spitz then says, does it show that I'm on break at the moment? And Chris Davies World says, hi all.
Hi, Chris Davies World.
Whoa.
Hi, Penny. Thanks everyone for putting in the chat. And a special hi goes to Cameron. So yeah, Cameron, I'm ever so glad that you're watching the show, and let's hope you're getting an awful lot out of it too. Yeah. So we got into this 1/24 scale van. First time I've seen it and opened it, and we've got the instructions. We've got the transfers, which I don't think I'm going to be using because I think I'm going to be finding my own. And for those of you who haven't seen one of these before, I think you have on Steve Owen's catch up. They really are a really nice model. And the thing is, what I've got to do now is make it not such a nice model, haven't I? I've got to make it rusty. I've got to make it dinted. I've got to make bits missing. And yeah, and like, you know, Chad on the back and all the rest of it. And we'll have odd painted doors maybe. And yeah, so there's all sorts of little bits and pieces to do to this in the future. Oh, it's got really nice rubber tires as well, so that's good because they can be muddied up nicely, can't they, and scuffed and what have you. So yeah, I'm really pleased about that, and I'm really pleased that it is a really good kit. And something further about this as well, I actually got £5 off it as well, so I was really pleased. So yeah, that's going to be the future diorama vehicle for this windmill. If I can get it back in the box. And yeah, so the Mark II Transit. Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to that.
So you're going to put air lights in it?
In the Ford Transit. Oh well, yeah, why not? I suppose I could put lights in, and I don't think it would have smoke coming out the exhaust, but I might leave the lights in. I might even put a kettle outside, you know, one of them glowing kettles, and somebody sat outside making a brew, you know, and then somebody up a ladder, and you know, that kind of malarkey. Right, let me go back and change my camera a minute, and then we'll go and have a look and see what everybody else is doing, and then we'll go to that one. There we are. That's all is back on there, and then I'll just bring up these new comments. Oh, the comments they've gone mad, haven't they? These comments. Thank you very much for commenting. I really do appreciate it. So, can't remember where we got to. So yeah, we got there.
So Chris Davies Will says, "Oh, McDonald had a farm, aka Dave LOL." Penny Pitstop says, "Hi Cameron, I hope you know how great your granddad is, as we all think so." Yeah,
he's a fabulous fella, is Paul. Yeah.
David Bassett says, "Change the transfers to make it a bread van."
Good idea.
And then he also says, "Just leave it white then. White van man rules."
Yeah.
And then Penny's Pit Stop says, Dave, are you going to melt those tyres to make it look like it has a puncture?
Oh, what a fabulous idea that is.
And P40F20 says, for the scale of 1/24th, you may need a bigger base.
Yeah, I did think about that, and I thought, well, I'll try and pack as much as what I can in, and that's why I wanted to make the cap of the windmill rigid so that it wouldn't spin around the windmill as it properly should, but the sails would still go around, and then I can fit everything on the diorama itself.
Penny's Pit Stop says, you are a Yorkshireman. You have to have a brew in your diorama somewhere.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
And then Chris Davies World says, Dave, you could have a courier van, LOL.
A courier van. Yes, well, it's all possibilities, isn't it? I suppose it's all possibilities.
Name for your windmill.
What's that then?
A name for your windmill.
Go on.
Shire Mill.
Shire Mill. Do you know, I like that? Shire Mill. As in Yorkshire Mill? Is that what you mean? Yorkshire Mill? Shire Mill.
Look up, call it Shire Mill.
Shire Mill, yeah. Yeah, I like that. That's a really good suggestion, Dave. Thank you. Yeah, I like that a lot. Right then, I think it's time for you guys to, we'll have a look and see what you're doing. And I'll make you go full screen, whoever wants to go first. And then I'll have to whip back quickly and make whoever wants to go second.
I'm got much to show, just that plus, but
okay. I would like to go first.
Go first.
Okay. Well, whilst I'm in the background, I'm actually going to move things around myself. So keep talking, Dave, and I'll tell you when I'm ready.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm as a lot of you know, I've showed it a few times. I'm building this V-type bus from Airfix. Bit of a challenge because a lot of the parts have been twisted and all that. It was both second hand. What was it about? What the back stairs to do yet? But it's been a long time since I've been into plastic model, and it's good to get back into it. So you've got the little. I've never painted figures before, but there's my little driver. Thanks to Penny who'll give us some tips on painting figures. And I've got a lady inside and a man in the back. The only trouble with it is I can't, and I don't know if anybody else out here can help us, I can't get the adverts for it. The one with it, the London General stickers are there, transfers, but I just can't get the advertising board for it. So I don't know if anybody in here could, any suggestions where I might be able to get. I've contacted Airfix and I said, because it's such an old model, they don't do them anymore. So, that's it, Dave. I can't think of anything else.
That's all right, Dave. Thank you ever so much. Who would like to go next?
I'll go next.
Okay. Thanks ever so much, Mark.
Okay, so I'm sorry, I'm sweating up here. So I've shown this before, but that's the kit I'm going to try and do. It's 144th scale. I did this. This was the first plastic model kit I did with my dad in the 1980s. Do remember it being a bit bigger back then, though. But yeah, I'm hopefully going to plan to do it, and then hopefully I'm not going to do the wheels because I want to have it in like a flight mode and dangling from the ceiling in here. So that's my plan anyway. So yeah, that's my plastic model kit that I hopefully will get going on soon. And I think that's it, Dave.
Wow, thank you. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. So, would you like to show anything, Dano?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll move my chair.
I was going to say, I'll get Matt to catch up on the chat before you get ready.
Yeah.
Courier van, so we're there.
Penny Peterstuff says, I like the idea of a courier. Perhaps Dave could build this whole diorama smaller and have a courier delivering the diorama to Dave in the Windmill in Old Amsterdam. Chris Davies says, sounds good, Penny. And then Penny says, sorry, I meant a second diorama and I have a career delivering that.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
And then Penny says, Dave Mill, is that the Airfix version?
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
P40F20 says, at Penny's Pit Stop, yes, that is the old Airfix kit.
Yeah.
And then Penny says, Mark, it wasn't bigger, you were smaller, lol. Yeah. And then she also says, I tried that kit, hated it, poor fit, it ended up in the bin.
Oh no. Right.
Well, I've persevered with it. You know,
You've worked really well, haven't you?
there is parts, especially on the body where it's not fitting very close up. But
Yeah. You've worked really well with it. You really have. Okay, Dana, you're on.
Well, this is one of the first part works that I've done. So it's the Tiger tank.
Oh wow! Look at that method.
Yeah, and you can actually take the gun turret off in it. As you can see, it's got all the little detail in there.
Yeah, wow. That's brilliant.
Yeah, and inside of it, it's got detail inside.
That's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet you're really pleased with that, Dana, aren't you?
Yeah.
Obviously, is that the radio controlled one?
No.
made all of metal.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
But we needed it was one of the longest ones because we needed to actually paint everything. My dad helped us with it.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
fabulous.
Every single one of those track pieces had to be hand painted.
God, blimey. I bet that took a lot of doing. Did it not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then obviously you had to put the pins in.
I bet I was going to say all them pins around the tracks and everything. I bet that was a devil of a job to do.
You know, like on Adrian, so he was doing his tank, but his tracks were already coloured.
Yeah.
You having to paint them tracks.
Yeah.
Then make sure the holes were clear of paint before we drop the pins in.
God,
And my dad doing a bit of weathering on it.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks superb. It really does. It looks superb. Right, I think there's a little bit more chat, and then we'll I'll change my camera, and then we'll see what else I've got on the turntable here.
Yeah.
It's maybe a second chance to have a look at something that you perhaps might not have seen the other day. So, yeah.
Okay, so Penny says, I will try again one day, but as a first model in years, it's not a good one. You need more experience to build it.
Yeah.
Penny says, thanks for showing us your build, Dano.
No, she says, thanks for showing us it.
All right. Sorry, I'm melting in this room. P40F20 says, at Penny's Pit Stop, I think that Mini Art make a kit of that bus in 1/35 scale.
Yeah, I think they do too.
And Chris Davies says, I've never seen a tank in real life before.
You've never seen the tank, Chris? Yeah, that's interesting. Bovington Tank Museum, is that still going somewhere in Bovington, down south somewhere? Yeah, that's off the top of my head. So, right, let's have a quick look at this then. Second chance to have a look at this. Any guesses before I flick the camera over? There we go. Right, so we'll do that. And yeah, second chance to have a look at this lovely model. I am so pleased with this model, it's unreal. Yeah, it's 1/12 scale, it's the Shillabee horse bus, the omnibus. And if we look really carefully, you'll be able to find out where it's broken. So, and these springs here and here on every spring is broken. So if I just spin it around, and you'll be able to see this side, you'll be able to see it better this side. There's a gap there, and there's a gap there where it's not sitting down on the wood properly, and then one on the back, and then the very back one. I think you can see. Well, should move the camera. Can you see that very back one there? So yeah, it's not actually sat down properly. And then you can see the spokes of the wheels. You can see some of the cracks in the spokes and the wheels where I've glued them back together, but they've actually fitted really well now. So I've got the brake block to bend back into position. I've got these 4 springs, each one of all the way around, to glue in position. And I think there's some of these end caps. Yeah, there's one at the back there and one at the other side, I think it is. These end caps of the springs to remake, which are just out of wood. But yeah, this is George Shillybier's horse bus, 1824, 1829, of course. And I think Horlicks commented on these lights. Let me just lift that up a bit, and you can see. Oh dear. So Horlicks commented on these lights, these carbide lights or paraffin lamps. Yeah, there was all the rage with horse carriages in the days gone by. And of course, you would have had the driver sat up there. And if you look very carefully, I think I can pick it out on here. Let's have a look. If you look very carefully in there, I think it is, there is actually a foot brake. Can you see that? Yep. And that comes down these levers here. And then that actually activates these blocks on the back wheels. So, and there's one on each side. There's one on this side. Get the camera right. Yeah, there's one on that side, brake block, which again needs adjusting. So the driver going along, not only would he say "whoa" to his horses, but he would be slamming on the brakes or trying to slam on the brakes with a foot brake there as well to stop these rear back cart wheels from turning and to actually stop it. I was telling you that there is a door in the back. It doesn't actually open, but I think I'd like to get it to open if I can. It's got steps here, 1, 2, 3 steps, and then you're in. And I'm not sure whether you can see inside. I don't think there's enough light, but you tell me if you can see inside.
You can see one side.
Yeah, you can see bench seats in there, can't you? Yeah. So yeah, that's the inside, and you can see that it's like a mauve colour inside as well. So yeah, nice plush velour inside. The Shillybeer colours, the green, the yellow, and then the red was all replicated on the Routemasters, and then these lovely rose roundels were replicated on the Routemasters as well. I think it was this one at the rear, and one of these was replicated for the sides of the Routemasters, and they kept the omnibus in that style of lettering on the Routemasters too. Yeah, I absolutely love this model to bits. It's in 1/12 scale, and it goes ideally with the Routemaster. And the only thing I'm not happy with entirely, and that's this colour. It's like a very dull green, but I'm guessing that it's probably been around for a long time and got caught by the sun or been affected by the light. And the only thing is, I wouldn't like to try and repaint the green because there is so much detail to go around. It would be really impossible to do. And then you look at the laurel leaves around these rose roundels, and that would be round about the same green that we would need for the proper green for the Shillybeer bus. Excuse me. I think I was telling you before about destinations, and the first destinations were what you're looking at now on these rose roundels, and that's how they would display a destination to anybody that would be wanting to go from one place to another in London. And I think there's three destinations: Islington, Somerstown, Paddington to the Bank, and that's the Bank of England, and Diorama, Regent's Park. So yeah, and they have that on both sides, I believe. Yeah, absolutely the same both sides. So I've got a little bit more restoration to do on it, as I say, but I am getting there with it, and it is going to be just my pride and joy. It really is. This cartwheel has to be bent back as well. They're actually all stapled down to the base. You actually see that, but there is a staple down there. I don't know whether you can see it moving.
Yeah.
It staples the wheels on. So I'm going to have to lift the staple on this back wheel and then just rebend the axle back into shape because it's just bent down slightly. So and then the little bits of gluing that I've suggested and the little bits to pop back on the springs, and then it's just about there. Then it's just about finished. So yeah, so I'm really, really, really happy with that.
Are the horse underneath just display, or do they actually fit on it?
Say that again, Dave.
Are the horse bars underneath just display, or do they actually fit on it?
Yeah, they're just displayed. They're actually stapled down as well on them. I do believe if you was to take them off, they would go in the proper places where the horse bars go. And with this model, it's a 3-horse model. So the 2 bars would come out of there, the 2 shafts. You would have 1 horse in the middle and then 1 horse each side. So yeah, 3 horses in total. So yeah, hopefully that's giving you something nice to look at tonight and something different and a bit more in the way of what I'm going to do in the next few weeks or so, because I'm going to start on my diorama on my Windmill, on my Ford Transit. I'm going to finish this horse bus off, finish the restoration of that off, and then it'll be time for spraying some panels, hopefully, on my Route Master, which is sat behind me. So yeah, hopefully I'll be able to get crack on with three projects all within the next few weeks or so. So we'll go back to this view and we'll get some comments read out, if that's all right with you.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Oh, good God, yeah, there is.
So would those destination be changed? Like wiped off?
No, them destinations would stay as they are. And that was the first registered services in London.
Okay.
Where was we? I'm going to say the tank in real life. So it must be that one.
Yeah, so Chris says, not a proper tank. No, I haven't.
Okay.
Andrew says, Bovington Tank Museum. It's in Dorset near Wool.
Ah.
Mike Testone says, hi all, just a quickie. Got to take my dog out now.
Hi, Ted. Thanks for joining us.
And then David Bassett, the colours on that Shillybay bus are wrong. Oh. See your own Route Master and the full-size replica in London Transport Museum at Covent Garden, London.
Yeah, I thought there was.
Andrew says, Wool is near Wareham, where in Swanage Branch starts. Paul Wright says, Cameron said he loves your omnibus, Dave, and he's asking what omnibus means.
Omnibus means bus. It's actually a French word, is omnibus. And yeah, it came from France, the word omnibus. And we adopted it. Well, George Shillybay adopted it in London in 1829. And it stuck, really, did omnibus, and it got shortened in English to bus.
All right. Mike Testone says it looks great.
Thank you, Mike.
Chris Davies Wells says 3 steps forward, 3 steps back, LOL.
LOL.
And then he's asking how's you, Mike Tedstone. And then David Bassett says, Chris Davies World, I've actually driven a real tank, a chiffon tank down in Winchester, along with an Abbott self-propelled gun and APC armoured personal carrier.
Wow.
Chris Davies World, cool, I've never seen one in person. Then David Bassett, I did also manage to drive a real Route Master many years ago at a bush rally held at North Weald Airfield. And then Chris Davis as well is saying cool at David Bassett. David Bassett, I've seen live tank firing down near Lulworth Cove in Dorset. And then Andrew says Bovington Tank Museum.
My granddad used to build tanks.
Your granddad used to build tanks?
Yeah, Vickers Armstrong down on Scotswood Road was a big tank builder.
Wow, brilliant.
So we used to often see them getting tested.
Yeah, I bet there was actually quite interesting to see as well being built, because full of armour plate and everything. I think there's one more.
Yeah, and David Bassett says, on a big six-wheeler, scarlet painted 97 horsepower omnibus. Apologies to Flanders and Swan.
And I can't sing it tonight because I'm a bit hoarse. And thank you, Mark, for doing the comments. Right, I think we've been going just about an hour, I think, and we've shared just about everything I have for this evening. I'll just get the camera back to me, if I can, and even though I don't want to put that lovely horse bus away, so because you don't want to see my ugly mug, but there you go. Right, so hope you've enjoyed that bit of an update and the part one of my Windmill, which is Shire Mill, part one of Shire Mill. And I think we'll have that because I don't think anybody else has given us another name that I like. So Shire Mill, yeah, part one is over and done with, and we'll be cracking on with it as best we can. I was going to give you some milling names and modern meanings of milling names, but I'll do that next time because I don't want to hang around too much. And all I can do now is thank you ever so much for joining me tonight. I really enjoyed your company. I've enjoyed everybody's company here tonight. Thank you for showing your bits and pieces, guys. I appreciate that. Thanks to Mark for doing the chat for us, which hasn't been easy. I would have ended up going by now. So I think there's a little bit of chat to finish off, and then we'll say our goodbyes.
Just find out where it is.
It's that one, I think.
There are over 70 tanks at the museum. It's pronounced Boddington. There are also tanks at Imperial War Museum sites.
Yeah.
And then Andrew says it's pronounced Bobbington.
Yeah.
Okay, P40F20 says, great show, Dave.
Okay.
Penny says, Dave, you're sounding a bit distant.
Yeah, it's because I'm a bit far away from the microphone.
And then David Bassett says, Bovington, I first went there in 1968. And Paul Wright says, good night from Cameron and I, and thank you.
Good night, Cameron. Good night, Paul. Thanks ever so much for joining us. Be sure to check in again next time when I do another update or another part two of Windmill or whatever comes along. So, and I think we ought to do a YouTube schedule if you can, Mark, and then it'll give everybody the same chance as we normally do. And then, to be fair, over what's happening in the next week with everybody's channel.
So tomorrow evening at 8 o'clock, it is Build with Adrian, and he's doing his Spitfire 43 to 44.
Whoa!
And then Monday is Chris Camplin. He's doing Terminator 91 to 92. And then on Tuesday at 7:30, Adrian's doing Terminator 95 to 96.
Whoa.
And then Wednesday afternoon, there is the Paint with Diamond show at 2 o'clock on Yorkshire Crafter and Penny's Pit Stop channel.
Yeah.
I do believe Penny won't be there this Wednesday again because of training. So
could have a special guest though. Could have a special guest this week.
Yeah. And then Wednesday at 6 o'clock is to be confirmed, but it could be Build the Camper Van. Stage 75 plus, and that's Build with Adrian. And then Wednesday evening at 8 o'clock is the Partwork show, and it's Route Master 109 and 110.
Wow.
And then on Thursday it's Horlicks, and he's doing Route Master issue 126 at 8 o'clock.
Fabulous.
And then Friday It's Horlicks again, and he's doing Terminator 86 at 8 o'clock.
Brilliant.
And then Saturday, there is nothing on.
Oh, day off.
Night off. Yeah.
Right, so thank you ever so much again, guys, Mark, Dano and Geordie, for helping me out tonight. I much appreciate it, and I much appreciate everybody commenting tonight as well. Just shows what a lovely, lovely community we've got. So thank you ever so much for that. I do appreciate it. And I'm going to say good night, and I'm going to ask all these lot to say their good nights, and then we'll go from there, won't we? So, Mark, if we put you on first.
Oh, yeah, so thanks for having me on tonight, Dave. It's been a pleasure, as always, to come along and sit in on one of your shows. And, yeah, I'll catch you next time.
Thank you ever so much, Mark. Jolly Dave.
Yeah, thanks for having us along. Very interesting, that Windmill. I love it. So thanks for having us along. And don't forget, thumbs up to Dave and subscribe to these channels.
Thank you ever so much, Dave. And Dana.
Yeah, thank you for having us on. Really looking forward to see where that Windmill goes.
Yeah, let's see. Let's hope we can go a bit further with it, shall we?
Yeah.
Okay, right. And I'll just come across to me, and then I'll say thank you ever so much, everybody, for watching. And hopefully it's been quite interesting tonight, and just filled in a day that there was nothing on. So and I had to get this windmill started. The thing is, if you've got so many projects and you just put them away, and you end up with nothing being done really. So you've helped me tonight to kickstart this into starting this diorama and cracking on with this windmill. So I'm grateful for that. So thank you very much. And I have some more exciting and new projects on the way. So keep watching and find out when that will happen. So good night from me. Take care. God bless, and look after yourselves now. Take care. Bye.